Masters. Oh, lot of masters here. Okay. PhD. Great. So, I'll not directly answer this question because I've already partly answered this question in my earlier, in the earlier sessions. I hope you all were present there. So, I'll relate to you my own example, okay, so that you will understand from this, and I'll finally come to the answer to the question. So, I'm a civil engineering graduate. I did my civil engineering and did my master's from NICMAR, okay, and I was campus selected in L&T. So at that time, this is 32 years back. So at that time, we had only 3 to 4 top-notch organizations where, the mother of civil engineering or mother of construction, if you want to work in, it has to be either L&T or it has to be HCC or you have Shapurji and some other organizations. And I had this L&T. So I did not sit for any other interview apart from L&T. I got campus selected in L&T. So day one, when I went to L&T, head office, I was told I have to go to Jamnagar. So I went to Jamnagar. It was a refinery project. So when I went, I was wearing this particular suit like this, and then I was wearing a tie and everything like that. Okay, site पे जाने के बाद, imagine all this suit. First thing which came out half an hour after half an hour was suit निकल गया. ठीक है? थोड़ी देर के बाद जो टाई जब था, we had temperature of 46-47 degrees and I was wearing this tie and everything. So tie handkerchief की तरह I started using that tie because I was perspiring and it was something like that. And after I told them I am from from NICMAR, I have done my post graduation and everything and all. The project director at site, he said, "Very good, Manish. Welcome to the site." And then I was assigned to work under a supervisor, foreman, and foreman is the lowest level category where you can work. But he's one of the most powerful persons in the group because he controls all the workforce or all the people who are working on the site. So for 6 months I worked under him, even though after 6 months I was going to be his boss, but I learned all the tips and trade from that particular foreman. So today what is missing with all of us as engineers is we are missing on the basics. We do know the technologies, we do know the techniques, but we need to understand how things happen in practicality. Okay, talking about, what exactly is required for us is decision making in all of us. 60% of the projects fail because of, what? You don't have time as a constraint. 60% of the projects are behind schedule and 40% or 47% of the projects are, there is a cost overrun on them. And one of the basic reasons is you are not able to take decision on time. You are not able to take a quick decision. आर्मी में किसी ने बोल दिया कि कूदो, so that लांस नायक और सिपाही will not think twice. पहले वो कूदने के लिए बोला तो he will jump. हम लोग के यहाँ क्या होगा? We will think twice कि कूदना है, नहीं कूदना है, all of that. ये काम करूँ, ना करूँ, sort of thing like that, which takes a lot of time and efforts. So because of this, what happens is that you lose the valuable time which is required, and because of the projects get delayed on site. So the first thing that is required for students to be ready is having proper knowledge of all the tools and techniques. That is, you need to know BIM, you need to know your AutoCAD. These are the basic. You need to know project management and select your domain first. You can't be a master of all. Please remember that. You need to decide where you want to go or where you want to specialize. Otherwise, if you are not clear with this, मैं जाने के बाद decide करूँगा, it cannot be like that. Right from the beginning, when you are just moving out, it can be safety, it can be quality, or it can be project management, or it can be planning, anything which is there. So focus on that particular one skill and get expertise in that skill. And that is what today the industry is wanting. Because once you are, adapted to that particular skill and that particular domain expertise you are having, the industry will welcome you with open arms. So to cut the long story short, I gave you this particular example. How many of you are still, when you're coming, how many of you are quick witted? That is what the industry is looking at. How many of you are coming out with answers immediately to solutions? Because when you come with a problem to the table, you need to also come out with a plan A or plan B. So you need to also think. Don't just pose problems. What can be the probable situations which are there, and what would be the solutions to these situations is something that you need to come out with, so that all of you can be successful in your careers right from the beginning. Thank you very much.
Very rightly told by Mr. Manish, and this is the same thing, which proactive thinking is what is required in the engineers primarily. And I would like to get the same question. I would like to, what is your inputs with respect to Balasubramanian first?
Yeah, I perfectly agree with him, because this is what the industry is expecting. Basically, apart the knowledge is nowadays is very much easy to get. It's not like the era when we all started our career. Now it's available, internet is available. So knowledge is not the thing, and it's not that costly as well. Only the attitude. The ASK, the attitude, skill, and the knowledge. So the attitude is the topmost priority. So they have to enter the profession with that passion and the attitude that we can get things done. So that will help a lot. Once you have that attitude, everything's always, you will be able to move on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Krishna. Again, a lot of things I'll be repeating, but what is most important, and there are two parts if I say it. One is software skill, and then what is important is in the skill. So one of the most important skill nowadays in the industry, which is needing, is digital skill, which is very, very important, which is which is going to make difference apart from your having your can-do attitude. So once you go in the industry, there are three things if I call about software skill. One thing is there is a concept called victim versus a player. So I mean, it is exactly what I'm repeating, the same thing what I'm saying. When you go in an industry, what they need, a person who can solve the problem rather than complain about the problem. So the first thing what you have to focus on, you have to be a player in the market. It doesn't matter in what situation you are. That's first thing. Second thing, that now as industry is looking for people who is continuous learner. So everything is evolving. Every day industry is evolving. So you need to be continuous learner every day. I'm sure the same thing was brought, and this is one thing which will make difference. And the third most important thing is that, again, I'm repeating Dr. Kalgal what he highlighted. Having an idea. You cannot understand everything, but at least you need to have an appreciation. So there is a concept called T-shaped, personality, or T-shaped skill. So you need to be expert in one area where you need to have depth, which is the vertical part of T, and then you need to have appreciation of wider engineering. So these are three very, very important, which is going to make difference. And I think this is what actually I would say, particularly for the young graduates and the people who are going to industry, you need to keep your mind open, ear open. You have to learn from the people around you, and you have to make sure that you are a continuous learner. So that will be my two cents.
What I feel is today, youngsters, when they are coming for interview, we don't expect you to know the entire technical knowledge. What we are looking actually is that attitude. Do you have the right attitude in order to get the problems done? Are you a go-getter? See, for example, if there are any challenges coming within the stipulated time, do you have the ability to meet people, understand what is needed at that point of time? If you are going to be a real go-getters, definitely industry will reward you. And today, youngsters, I understand you need money, you need luxury life, you need everything. Why we have to compensate? I mean, why we have to compromise on our aspects? We have come all the way till here in order to have a luxury lifestyle, earn what is needed. So to be there, I request you come up with a fluid mindset, be adaptable, and first 5 years you may not be earning at par with your other peer groups, but once you have patience enough to remain in your own domain, definitely this industry will pay back whatever is needed, whatever is required for current lifestyle today. Focus, things will definitely come on your platter.
Great. So from the discussion what we had, I would take like knowledge, decision making, and critical skills, and particularly the digital technology, continuous learning process, and the attitude. These are the main key takeaways that we are getting from this particular discussion on this question. But going with what Reyes sir was telling with respect to the importance of digital technology, we'll go to the next question to Mr. Balasubramanian. So, sir, what software and digital tools, since you are coming from EduTech platform and you're one of the leading person in that field, so as L&T EduTech, what are the kind of digital tools or technologies which they are looking at in terms of employability for the civil engineers?
Thank you. In civil now, a digital transformation is already happening, right? And I would say perhaps this could be the last of the industry, like compared to mechanical or any other. Already the transformation happened a long time back. Now the digital transformation is happening, and this is everybody has to be digital savvy nowadays, right? Especially for the future. So, for example, in civil engineering, we work in teams, not individual, right? So project collaboration we require a lot. So the tools which will help you to collaborate with other engineers or other trades and all will be one of the main criteria. And in this we talk about building information modeling. And now it has started, and L&T has been a pioneer in this. And it has helped our projects to cut down on schedule and cost considerably. So this is one area I would urge all of you to take up. And it is not just a modeling. People confuse with BIM as only a three-dimensional modeling for presentation. That was the starting point. But it has graduated to, we would say, 4D on schedule monitoring, and then 5D on costing, 6D on sustainability, like that up to 10D is there. So there's a way to go. And building information modeling is one area I would urge everyone. And the second one I would say is the technology which is really monitoring in civil, especially for infrastructure project, is geospatial. Geospatial is an area, and it's coming up. We have to get our entire terrain done, survey done. We are no longer using the old methods now. We are using drones and lidars, and it has become the way of life now. So geospatial, and I would also urge you to blend geospatial and BIM, especially for the big mega projects. So geospatial is another area, and the tools are there. Many tools are available nowadays. So this is one area you people can focus, will get you. And civil engineering is no longer confined to the earlier traditional style of the brick and the mortar and the way standing in the sun. It is no longer there. We are digitally doing many things. And I would say with confidence that during the COVID lockdown, we could manage our sites remotely, because L&T has been doing a digital transformation a year before. So I could see all my sites, like say 100 sites, with camera there. I can help them, guide them, because complete lockdown and we couldn't travel, and they were also couldn't come out of the site. So that was one phenomenal thing. We could see that the digital transformation happened and helped us also. And another area is on when the big mega infrastructure projects are coming up, safety issues are happening. So digital tools will help a lot to predict or forecast issues beforehand. And so there are many tools available nowadays on safety. And AI tools are nowadays very good now in analyzing all the data. In project management is one area I would say we as Indians are little weak compared to the Westerners. So this is one area, is another project management skills, and we have to go through it, because end of the day it is not only design and detailing but execution. We have to get the projects up and running. So project management we require. So right now the Primavera, MS projects are there, but there are many other tools coming up, and AI will help. AI is only a tool, and don't think AI as a final end of it and make use of and getting it done. That is not going to solve the problem. So you make use of AI as a tool, but plenty of tools are available, and be familiar with all those tools and try to make use of in your project. It will definitely help to get your project execution done in a better way. So these are the few things. And another one more area is sustainability. Sustainability is also another area, and to get that done we require plenty of interactions with various other things like environmental parameters. And sustainability tools are also available. Even in building information modeling, we have a plugin for analyzing the energy efficiency of a building and all that. So but they can keep on going like that, but I thought I will, because of paucity of time, I will stop with this.
I would like to follow up on this with Arvinda, because they are coming with T-Vasta is one of the established firm with respect to 3D printing. So they are pioneers with respect to how application of technology in the field. I would like to know what.
I would like to straight away give you one input for all the youngsters. Today, probably we have a notion that civil engineers are initially absorbed with a very low package. Correct, right? So that is a struggling point for all of us, where CS people are absorbed for 7 lakh package, 10 lakh package. So I'll give you one insight here. In additive manufacturing, which is known as RCC 3D printing in layman's scale, we use tools like Grasshopper and Rhino. Most of the RCC 3D printing designs are happening using these particular tools. So if students are coming with the basic knowledge on these particular softwares, straight away companies are absorbing definitely for more than 7 lakh package per annum. I'm just giving input. Say it's very wrong to utter the number, but I can see some young minds just to motivate you guys, this is definitely happening. And across globe, see, we have a dream of going abroad and working. So right now in India, we still face labor shortages, but whereas already in America region, European region, Australian region, labor wages per hour basis, it is already about $20. So for them, executing building modules is using only mechanized system is the only solution they have. So RCC 3D printing is becoming one of the rapidly evolving technology. So this will fulfill all your dreams. It will yield you a good package, good knowledge base, and you will be able to work get exposure abroad as well. So focus on getting these particular initial knowledge about the tools and tackles, or rather software skill sets what I have mentioned. Probably you will be absorbed better.
Yes, sir. Atkins Realis is doing this on a global scale. So I would like to know what is your take on this.
Thank you. Again, this is very pertinent question, and most of the students, they get confused that what is that we have to learn so that we become employable. And again, I tell you one thing is very, very important, that if you want to find out where you will become employable, so you can go to company site, and every company, they have a technology stack. So in civil engineering, you have, I can, at least I know more than 100 tools, but you can't learn 100 tools before, while doing your engineering. So what is most important for a graduate or for people like yourself, you have to understand what is your area of interest. So that's one thing. And then based on the area of interest, master one tool. Don't go. So for example, if I'm coming back. So I run project and program management services in Atkins Realis. Just for project management, we have 5 tools. Now you can't learn all the 5 tools. Okay. So what you need to make sure that which industry you are going to work. Are you going to work in building or places? Or where is your interest lies? So that's one thing. So for example, nowadays, suppose if after civil engineering you want to choose career in project delivery or project management, then Primavera, so basically planning and scheduling. But tool is not going to make you a good planner or good scheduler. Before that, you need to understand the fundamentals. So what is most important? And then you have risk management itself is another, so risk management, it's a very specialized area. Then if I'm talking about Autodesk, AEC, Autodesk Construction Cloud, that's another tool. Then BIM, as you said, Revit. Revit is mostly building and places we use Revit, and then for infrastructure we use Civil 3D. So these are different tools which is available in the market. And while combining all those things, what is most important for you is what the industry is looking for. That how so through all these tools, why it has come, you have to understand the concept that these tools are trying to integrate different fragmented data. It may be design data, it may be cost data, it may be schedule data, risk data. So you need to understand what are the different inputs coming in this tool and how do you integrate. And then you get mastery in one of the tool. That is what actually you are going to have a better employability.
Good. So we have Tata Projects, Manish sir is coming with great expertise on that. So Tata Projects is a pioneer with respect to establishing quality practices in all the kind of industry practices they have. So I would like to know what is the kind of digital tool transformation you have introduced recently or
So, just to add to whatever has been said by the August experts here, at Tata Projects we are utilizing BIM on a greater scale, and we recently last year implemented SAP HANA on a global war footing basis, and it was the fastest implementation across the world for any construction organization. And this was to the extent so much that the people were influenced to what extent is that Fluor Daniel US, they gave a consultancy contract to Tata Projects to implement SAP across Fluor Daniel US for their particular projects on a global scale. So we went and implemented it for them as part of a digital tool process as such. And in addition to that, what I feel is that, you know, having the right person for the right digital tool is very, very important, because you can have number of tools available with you, but if you don't have the right expertise and the knowledge, domain knowledge, again I'm coming back to that, you need to have one particular domain knowledge, stick to that knowledge, don't jump on this domain to other domain and all. Once you get expertise in that domain, you will be able to do very well with that particular digital tool. Example, you know, contract management. So we have a document management system where in one of our particular project, it was raining continuously for more than 330 days out of 365 days. So with the use of that particular document management and contract management tool, we went in for submission of extension of time to the client, and we were able to get 1 year extension of time from the client. So this is the power of digital tools. You know, so digital tools are there to support the people who are utilizing them. And AI can never replace manpower or our expertise in construction. Let me tell you guys, AI is only an enabler as far as things in construction are concerned. AI will not take away your jobs. Let me assure you on that. It will only be facilitating you to do your job much better and in an efficient manner. And using AI, of course, you know, nowadays we are utilizing Claude as well as ChatGPT to answer to the clients or to the questions. But we need to be, you know, using these tools in a proper manner. I had a consultant's, one of his engineers sending me his reply, cut and paste of ChatGPT, where the question was also, you know, there. So you have to be smart enough how to use those tools, and then, you know, take away the things which are not required. Otherwise, people will understand that you are not having that knowledge and you are, you know, depending on a particular digital tool for your expertise. I think this is very important.
Rightly said, because even in the academic field also, the questions being said by the faculty using the help of ChatGPT, and the evaluation is also can be done with the ChatGPT. So who is going to be the evaluator, who is going to be the assessor? This is a problem of concern. This is so all the panelists were agreeing with respect to the application of this technology, but the main key factor here is who is behind that, who is using that technology. He is knowledgeable, or he is having the aptitude to use it in the right way. That is the key takeaway what I will tell. Along with this, we are focusing on BIM, geospatial technologies, application of digital tools in the safety related part. Similarly, with respect to implementation and documentation, which has been focused by the panelists, which needs to be focused with respect to digital tools. So now moving ahead, we know that digital tools are in place. What are the kind of critical skills that is required for the our engineers? That is also well aware. But the main thing where we started with, where Manish sir was focusing more on to, is on the behavioral attitude or the competencies that the people are having. So my question is to Aravinda. I would like to know, what are the behavioral and professional gaps that you feel that the industries commonly observe in the candidates?
See, I mean, don't take me negatively. These days, younger generation, what I really feel, I mean, basic skills like paying attention to what client is requiring or what is the challenge. We have to be good listeners. That is something which we see. That energy level is very high, but on the other side, understand, validate, and then address to the requirement. That solves many of the problems. So again, I'm coming back to the point of having right attitude in civil. That is very important because initially things will not yield you very quickly. Even to build a building, you have to complete foundation, you have to rise floor by floor, then only high-rise building construction will get completed. Even after that, there will be finishing activities happening. There are several service coordination happens. So it has to be a continual growth. I initially started my career with the Tata Consulting Engineers. So entire year I was mentored telling that every growth has to be organic and it has to be a continual improvement. Then only things will really progress. So probably that is one thing students can really focus on. And any kind of knowledge, knowledge is definitely available. All that matters is that how do we utilize that knowledge base and how do we identify the right problem and how do we find the right solution to the problem. That is very important these days.
Manish sir, did you observe in any of the recruitment process or anywhere with respect to this behavioral or competency-related issue, which the student, I mean the candidate should have been at a higher level, or this is something problem with academics where the learning is happening, or is it because of the basic behavioral trait of the individual?
If I can take 2-3 minutes
Yeah.
here, I would like to relate an example. So observation is a very important skill, which is slightly lacking in people. Example: if you see the same room that we are sitting in, how many of you have observed that the entire UN SDG goals are being showcased here? Okay, so which is very very pertinent to our engineering process. How many of you have seen the interiors and what type of interiors have gone in, what type of acoustics is there, the room which we are sitting. I once interviewed a candidate who was, nowadays people get 98, 97, 96. 30 years back, 97, 96 was unheard of, So I really don't know, So when we get people with 98 and people start telling, sir, I have scored 97, 98 out of 100 and all. So in terms of knowledge, of course, we guess they are very good in knowledge and all. So we once recruited an engineer who was having top class in academics and everything and all. And then we put him on site. And this is the case, I'll take 2 minutes to explain this. So I was a project director for that particular project. That engineer came to me and said, sir, I have done from this particular institution, which is a top class institution, you have to give me an independent charge, I will handle it. So I said, okay, fine boss, you are talking so much, let me give you this thing. And as a project director, I was having that liberty. I gave him part of the site and I told, okay, you do whatever you want. So there were 36 foundations which were supposed to be excavated. This hero, let us name him hero. What he did is, generally the sequence of execution is you do excavation, you do PCC, and then you do RCC. This is how it happens in civil engineering. What our hero did is that he excavated all 36 footings at once. Okay? After excavating all 36 footings, उसके बगल में I had an experienced engineer who was doing, he had excavated only 4 footings. वो मेरे को फोटो निकाल के भेजता है, देखिए सर मैंने 36 footings सारा excavate कर दिया, and then this fellow जो बगल वाला है उसको कोई अक्कल नहीं है and everything. और उसके बाद उसने क्या किया कि he ordered PCC concrete for all 36 footings at once. 6 transit mixers are standing and suddenly we had Megharani coming on from the top and all my 36 foundations were filled with water. And I am stuck up with 36 cubic meters of what? Concrete. Now what should I do with those 36 cubic meters? और जो बगल वाले ने जो था उसके पास 4 ही फाउंडेशन था, so he had all the arrangements for those 4 foundations और उसने अपना PCC करके वो बगल हो गया. And this 36 cubic meters, this was the learning for that particular fellow. I said, look what you have done. So only academic knowledge is not going to be helpful. You have to have that practical understanding, which is very very important, and that skill as to how do you execute a project. You have to see from learning from others. Every time you don't have to, do a mistake and then learn. That way you'll never, there is a never ending process as such. So learning from others also is a trait, and implementing that across, which will help you, get into the steps of your early career is very, very important. Otherwise, if you don't do this, you'll never progress in your career. I think I'll stop here.
Riya sir, you can tell from any similar hiring experiences you had where you can.
Thank you, Dr. Vishnu. Yeah, I have been hiring almost now for almost 20 years since joining Atkins Realis. So initially I used to hire aerospace engineer, and then I have a lot of project controls and civil engineers we have been hiring. One thing, I'm just sharing my own experience when I hire what I see in people. The first thing, definitely strong engineering fundamentals is something which is very, very important. Everyone needs to have. Okay, that's one thing. Second, very important thing is your communication skill, which is, this is something we as a country, we are very good at, but there is a need to continuously improve. Particularly when you are working in a global industry, particularly when you are working with MNCs, you should be able to explain the problem statement very clearly and your problems. So this is communication is another very, very important skill which will be required for you to be successful in the market. If you are not able to explain what you have done, it doesn't make sense. So this is another thing. Particularly if you choose career paths like project management, program management, delivery management, communication plays very, very important role. And the third thing, which is very, very important, and particularly it is, I hope you will understand what I am saying, being adaptable. So everything what Manish and others were sharing, it talks about adaptability. So I myself started from aerospace engineering, and then over the year, by practice, I'm basically rotating machinery design engineer, but I moved into civil engineering, and by practice I'm a civil engineer because I have been in this industry for 10 years. When there was a slowdown in the market in aerospace design engineering, I chose project management, and one of the reasons I chose because I thought, okay, I can make a difference here, but the day one you don't get the very a big responsibility, so you start with a very small task. Now what is most important for those who don't say no to anything, take a small opportunity and make big opportunity out of it. So what I see, you need to have a mindset which is adaptable, that's very, very important. You see, if I have got an opportunity, how do I make, this, from this I can take a bigger opportunity. Just before coming, I'll take 1 minute. So I have almost around 30 students from MIT. They work in my company. So few of them are in my department, around 20 of them, and they are early careers basically, the last 3-4 years. And I was asking them, what is that it is? I was just doing a brainstorming session that, okay, you are from alumni and I'm going there, so tell me what is the gap, and I can share with some of you there. So one guy, his name is Sumit Patil. What he did, so he sat with me in brainstorming session, okay, and then he used chat. Basically nowadays we use Copilot, so he used an AI for transcript. He took the transcript, and once the meeting was over, I was not expecting this from him, but once the meeting was over, he took the transcript, he took it to AI and created a very good summary. Sir, you are going there, and this is what I have created to you. And now I think, okay, so this is what I'm calling. This gentleman was very proactive because I'm of the head of the department, and he wanted to give something back to his college. At the same time, he also wanted to help me. Through this, what I'm trying to do is, these are opportunity which you get. So hardly he will talk to me, once in 3 months, and he got this opportunity. Now, if I have to give next assignment, I'll go to him. This is what I mean. So these are attributes which is very, very important. Once you go, you get opportunity to showcase your skill and the knowledge, and then you become a seller and doer. So that mindset is very, very important. So once you do, you can become seller as well. So one thing which we have been telling that, okay, first time I'll give you a job, but next time you have to win that job yourself. I'm not going to assign you another job. If you are not doing, then you find out a job otherwise. I mean, this is very, very, this is what actually make difference in the market. I hope.
Sir, so Balasubramanian sir, since we were discussing so far with the industry, so L&T EduTech, you are also associated with many universities with respect to EduTech platform. So are we doing something wrong somewhere, or in terms of delivering this kind of behavioral competency in the students, or can we do from EduTech platform or from the academic institutions? I would like to know your views.
Yeah, we have been offering, a sort of a skill and enabling programs to various campuses, and we have actually included a career readiness module as well, basically to bring the students to the requirements, what they will be expected when they join, when they start a career. Apart from communication and also ethics and all that, we have brought on a module, and which we think that it will help us to at least to mindset, there will be some changes happening there. So as L&T, we have been hiring graduate engineers from long ago. Even I joined from IIT Madras as a PGT in L&T, so I know that the sequencing, how it goes. And earlier and all, it was easy for us because there were seniors who can mentor us and we can go along with them. But nowadays, it is getting more and more time. It requires almost more than a year or so for a student to get to the industry requirements. So this is one of the reason why we started this EduTech initiative, because we thought that we can bring up to the speed. And nowadays the project is completely changed, and the scale at which and the speed at which the clients expect the results are tremendous. So we are talking about a bullet train project which has to be executed in 10-month schedule. It has to be at a bullet train speed. So it is difficult for anyone, we know that, who's coming from the campuses and can be put on a project. So then first mindset is it doable? That is the thing we want to make them feel that it's all doable. Only thing is we have to go in a little sequencing way. And yes, you can do it. So we give them confidence like that you are also part of the thing. Whatever we have done so far, the signature projects, you also can contribute, or you can do much more beyond that what we have done. And this is one area. And another area we find is team skills. I've been telling about the collaboration. In civil engineering project, one of the main problem is most of the freshers, they will be good in their academics and all that. So they think that they can just, by alone they can do wonders in a project, which is unfortunately cannot, because it depends on many other parameters and they have to take with various stakeholders. So how to be, manage people is one area which is never taught in any academic curriculum. It happens by experience in the industry. So this is one area we are emphasizing, and we should have empathy, especially when you're working with all levels, laborers and vendors and all that. If they are not into the same professional level like you or something, so you have to deal with them differently if you want to get the project done. Finally, the execution of the project is a success. So to get things done, we have to have the empathy and understanding their requirements, and also a client's usage requirement is another area we are finding it. For example, what is the function of this room? What exactly? Whether the people can go out of this room without any hassle, or there is no crowding here. So such things, such sort of a thought process, we want the people to think and then bring it.
So as all the panelists have agreed to that academic competency will get you to the workplace for sure. But it is your professional behavior that is going to decide how you are going to get along with it. How long? The sustainability in the profession is dependent upon your professional behavior that you are. That is what the key takeaway I would like to take from this. Moving ahead with our fourth domain, which is on Indian and international market with respect. So I would like to go with Mr. Riaz Ahmed because Atkins Real is having a project across the world. So I would like to know what is the kind of expectation that is differing between Indian construction market and international construction market, so that the students are being ready as soon as they are ready for their final graduation. They know that what is the expectation that is there in front of them.
Thank you, Dr. Vishnu.
So this is one thing. Before I take up this question, one thing I must say that it is not a comparison between it is not a comparison between Indian market or the global market. What you will find out that even the Indian market today, lot of complex projects, lot of high-tech projects is being delivered, equally efficient. I mean, at par with any global industry. What is the difference? I mean, it's my experience while working with a global company and global organization. What I have seen that the amount of time before execution they spend in planning. So planning is one of the areas. So any particularly on the Western world, I mean, I think Western world, mostly UK, US, Canada, and this kind of country, the amount of time they invest in planning before execution. In India, what is most important here, because this is what the market is demanding. So you have execution speed has to be very high. You have to be very adaptable. And while you are delivering your project, you readjust yourself and you plan. Whereas what I have seen, Western world or global industry, they take a very structured approach. What does it mean for all of you? It means you need to understand what is that structured approach of delivering a construction project if you're talking about. So that's the first thing. Second thing is digital adoption. So the amount of tools and technology, it is not for the sake of something which you can do using 2D. You don't have to go to 3D. But when they use, so basically the first thing what they do is, and I have seen a lot of projects. Initially they deliver digital asset. So once you have digital asset ready, once you know the construction sequence, you have very good understanding of all aspects of construction. Then you move from your digital asset to physical asset. So that's another difference what I have seen. Third, very important, I mean again, when you're talking about the cost, is another aspect, particularly in a country like ours where you have to depend what your customer can pay. So you can't have the same approach what other countries are having. They take cost as a holistic view. So here in India, what we have seen in the industry that we are coming, they are very much focused that initial execution, I have to spend, this is my budget and within this budget I have to spend. Whereas there, once the asset is delivered, how it is going to operate and maintenance is another area. Second, very true, safety aspect. So any work what we do is very safety aspect. And the amount of rigor they apply in terms of moving from one stage to another stage. Just to give you a practical example, so we work with UK. UK is one of our biggest client, and then they use RIBA. So this is a Royal Institute of British Architects. So and they have a very well-defined approach, particularly for any building project. So starting from project definition till delivery. So RIBA stage 0, 1, 2, 3, and you have. And at every stage, they make sure that you follow, in letter and spirit, the basically RIBA stages, and then only you can move to the next stage. That's one thing. Second thing is there is a continuous, in terms of reviews. So there are stage gate reviews. So every stage you do review, you do the critical analysis, and you see the multidisciplinary coordination. So these are some of the things which is required. What does it mean for you? So for example, in Indian industry, what you will find that a cost engineer is planner, he is scheduler, he is project manager. Whereas if you go to international market, now these are very specialized fields. So if you go to project management itself, you will have a project manager, you have a project director, you have portfolio manager, you have portfolio director, you have cost controllers separate, you will have risk manager separate, you have change manager separate, which again you can afford only when you have very good understanding of that what you are going to do. So this is one thing. So if you want to venture into international market, the first thing is that they need definitely your strong fundamental. Another very important communication skill which I told. third thing is very, very important is you need to be very structured in the way you are approaching. And another thing, I mean, not for the early career, but there are a lot of professional accreditation. So for example, if you are going with a civil engineer, so institution of civil engineers, so there is a competency requirement. You must be aware of what are the competencies they look. In Western countries, you cannot sign a structural drawing unless you are a professionally certified engineer. So those kind of certification is very important, and these are one of the difference. Whereas in India, things are improving, but still we don't have that rigor actually in the implementation process. So this is in brief what actually I would say.
I would like to follow it up with the Balasubramanian.
Regarding the global
Yeah.
market, I had the opportunity to work in the US as well as with Japanese clients. The one thing I would say, slightly what things set apart is the professionalism. And they take you as a professional, and they deal you in a professional manner. So we have to be geared up in that way. And they go into details. Planning is very important there, because they do not want to take, okay, we just take it up, chalta hai, that attitude is not at all acceptable. So they plan into details, and especially when you work with Japanese clients, it really takes that thing out of you, because they go into minute details. They do not want any delays at site. And once everything is done at site, is only just follow the specification and the details given. It is a cakewalk, I would say, compared to what we normally face in our Indian sites. Indian, we always want to do, okay, we will start today. I want to do the Bhumi Puja today. You start the work and keep going. We will get stuck, and then we will come with some solution. The situation go again. It's like a stop and start sort of a game. There, it is nothing like that. So, and they wanted the things to go in a very, very smooth and well. And another thing is they look into every aspect before starting any project. Like the functionality of the project is also looked into details, and they follow the whatever the building codes very regimentally. They don't make any deviation, and the legal system is also very strong there. So we cannot take any chances like that. No, we cannot take with any excuses like that. So it has to be very professional. And of course, nowadays the digital tools are helping a lot, because you can predict the issues coming beforehand. So definitely now we are also having worked with many global projects. Our system is also now slowly get colored, and we are getting better out of it. So things are getting definitely improving, and I hope in a matter of time we also will be reckoned along with other global. And recently I was going through the ENR listing, and our companies like L&T and all has come up in a big way in the ranking, and so that definitely shows that we are definitely doing so. Plenty of possibilities, global possibilities are there for all of you. And another thing I want to say is that demand for civil engineers is global, whether it is in India or abroad. And they don't have enough engineers to handle. And the USA is also facing, and now I am seeing in Singapore and Japan. And I think Japanese engineers, their clients are interested to take civil engineers from India. So that definitely the global market is opened up. Only thing is we have to get geared to their way of style of working, which is not that tough. Only thing we have to follow the dotted lines. Then I think it's definitely easier. Okay. So wish you all the best of a global career.
Many sir follow.
Thank you. So, while all the stalwarts have already told you things, in terms of communication, attitude is very important, I feel, and the way how you behave. In addition to that, language skills are extremely important. Let us say you want to work with a Japanese client, and if you are having knowledge of Japanese, that will really give you an added advantage. Your culture skills are extremely important. Let us say that if I am working with a Japanese client, I signed the deal, but if I don't bow at the end of the deal and then come back, that deal is not going to go through. Whatever be it, billions of dollars. So that culture is very important. If you are in Turkey, okay, and if you don't hug the person there, okay, your deal is not going to go through. So you should know the culture. It's extremely important, guys. Everybody, guys and girls. When I say ladies and gentlemen, So culture is extremely important. You need to know the traditions. How do you, if you don't follow their traditions, being there in their country and you want to execute things, you'll have a big divide between what you are trying to do and what they are expecting from you. In one of the cases, I remember we were working in Middle East. I was working in Middle East, and we had one of the guys. And when the police stopped the vehicle, it was a container which was oversized container. He was asking in Arabic, "Have you taken permission? Where are the letters and documentation?" This fellow was talking in Hindi because he did not know Arabic, and that Arabic fellow whom he was trying to connect, he was not available at that time. You need to know. And their prayer times, how they work, their style of working, everything is extremely important if you want to work abroad. Otherwise, it's going to be, it's not a piece of cake, okay? If you want to work abroad, all of these prior understandings, knowledge will come at the last because you will be implementing when you are given a chance. You will not get a chance if you go ahead and do all of these things. You'll be told to go before only. Thank you.
Tivasta, since Tivasta is now settled in India only, I guess, right?
No,
You have international?
No, we are actually doing abroad.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'll give you a perspective about how additive manufacturing, RCC 3D printing and the global level opportunities are available. See today in India, only tier 1 institutions are having this RCC 3D printing as a curriculum. To be precise, IIT Madras, IIT Roorkee, IIT Tirupati and IIT Hyderabad. Of late, even tier 2 institutions, they have also started adopting this. But whereas when it comes to the demand, in US region, European region and Australian region, there is a massive requirement for skillful hands-on engineers in RCC 3D printing. Most of the recruitments are happening in India only. We ourselves are struggling to get right resources. We are hiring only from IITs and IIITs right now. But whereas resources are not available and huge demand is there. And today almost we get an inquiry of almost 1 million square foot development from US and all other regions. Every year we almost hire 10 to 15 new engineers in India and send them abroad. Because hiring a resource in the US or Europe or Australia, it becomes a very costly affair. So focus on adopting these new technologies.
Is there any certification like that? Where,
No, we do not require any certification. We need engineers, those who have basic knowledge about additive manufacturing, and like I said, Grasshopper and Rhino, how to use that tools and tactics, and how this automated, implementation industry works. We manufacture RCC 3D printers in Chennai, and Manipal is also. We are also preparing one of our machines. So try to adopt this technology, have a insight, and know how about this technology. Probably international requirement, whatever is there, that can be well addressed from India, because when we compare global cost, whatever RCC 3D printing cost we are encountering in India is much more economical. We are offering our services almost with the 1/10 of the price whatever globally it is being demanded. So Indians, please focus on this advanced technologies. Definitely sky is the limit.
A very good session we had with respect to that international and national market. So the key takeaways are like the importance of planning, prior planning. The Western culture, what they're doing is they have a proper planning prior to the project execution. We are not looking at after the starting of the initiation of the project. So that is one thing which in digital adaptation is another thing where we need to focus more into, or we need to catch up with what is there in the international market. And we of course got some inputs with respect to where to focus upon the global markets where Singapore, Japan and all, they are ready to take, waiting for the right competent people. Similarly, with respect to RCC printing, this is an area where I think our students can also focus upon, because we are going to partnership with Tivasta. We are going to get their printing machine here. So we are definitely on go with this, and hopefully the students are going to get the benefit out of this. Thank you. So now we have a very interesting session. We are going for a few rapid fire questions. So I'll be asking this question once, and it will be there for all the four panelists to respond to this. And I would like to make sure that we can keep it short and crisp so that it looks like a rapid fire for us. The first question is on why does the salary package of civil engineering graduates vary substantially even when they have similar academic qualifications? So this is the first question which I would like to start with.
Substantially low or substantially high? I mean, the question was not
Why does this very substantially vary between the similar
Right.
graduates, similar qualification graduates?
Okay. See, I understand this question because even when I was in undergrad 2011, we had the same problem. We were getting and we looking at the packages received by other disciplines. It is actually not true. So because all other disciplines, initial salary may be very lucrative. In civil engineering industry, every organization, those who are recruiting you, they will spend quality 1 to 2 years in terms of training you resources. So first 5 years probably you will not feel that very lucrative packages, but after that there is a significant increment what you will witness. People, those who are running in CS, electronics, whatever, wherever the discipline is, end of the day they invest their money in real estate. So today, hook or crook, real estate is one of the area which is actually yielding a significant return on investment. As long as the real estate demand is there across India, across globe, civil engineers will make money. Don't focus. I mean, don't worry about that part.
Many sir.
I partly agree to what he said and partly no to this what he said. See, partly yes, for the reason is that the incubation time for civil engineers is a little bit more compared to others. Okay, and the salary differentiation will be there always. For the reason is that how hard have you studied during your 12th standard and which institution you have gone. Because I know there are few organizations like even with Tatas, who will never go to tier 3. They will focus only on tier 1 or tier 2 maximum. A few select institutions. So they have a fixed structure that from this institution, he's from this institution, then the salary structure will be X. If he's from this institution, the salary structure will be Y. And from this other institution, the salary structure is different. So on the same, passing percentage and the same, same qualification, but from 3 different institutions, you'll find 3 different varying, salary slabs. So this will be there. But this is only the beginning. After you start proving yourself in that particular organization, I have seen the person who is from tier 3 also exceed the salaries of tier 4. Okay, so sky is the limit. So everything will be based on how you how do you develop your own competency and how you prove yourself in the market. Once you are in the market, once you are exposed to the outside environment. So don't think that salary is only a starting point. It's just to get a break in your career, that you start somewhere. And then don't have this tendency and have a focus. Don't jump 6 महीने के बाद अरे यार I think I will shift to CS. मैं ये कर लूँगा, वो कर लूँगा. This is a bigger problem for all of us as civil engineers because आज market में civil engineers बहुत कम रहे हैं. Let me tell you that. I don't have, I want to recruit 100 civil engineers. 90% of the people whom I interview, what is your plan after 2 years? Sir, I intend to do, I will go into, I will do this, I will do X. कोई masters करेगा या nobody tells me that he will remain in the same domain. There are only 10% people who say that they'll remain in the same domain. So this is a bigger problem, guys. So if you stick to the domain, you'll be able to, earn more and sky is the limit. Let me assure you on that. I'll stop it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the salary variation, it depends, I would say. Depends on the organization they are getting into. See, the bigger organization may have a structured salary, so they will not be able to deviate, but of course they may be paying little more. And some of the small starters may be able to pay more because they are starting up and their expectations are, they will be able. So it all depends upon where you are. But after a couple of years, I think this will all get normalized and the civil engineers are making a better deal, I would say. It is only the initial hiccup period which we have to go through. I should have patience to go through it, and definitely you will make it. And rest assured, in the next 1 or 2 decades, civil engineer will domain the world. So I can say for that for sure. And definitely, so initial hiccups you have to bear with it. And if you are lucky enough to get into a good organization, and then your starting point also will be good. So that is the way it is. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll keep it very short, but again, the industry pay for what skills you bring, right? So they pay for what is the competency and what is the skill. You may start your career as a graduate scheme, but after 2-3 years, we have seen number of people. I'll give a very recent example. So one of our colleague, she went to UK, and within 3 years she became a risk specialist. So within 3 years, we have to make him our risk manager, and the amount of salary hike we have to give to retainer is 10 times. 10 times. I'm telling this is just an example. But what matters is how quickly you are adapting to the demand, identifying where is the opportunity. Same thing with the construction. I'm just giving one risk management, construction management, and similarly all those kind of skills. Anyone, if you have digital skills, if you are able to have a very good information manager, there is a huge demand for information managers. So again, what I'm trying to say, it is not the degree which is going to pay you. What is the skill? So while you are doing your engineering, you must think about what skill I need to learn and how do I demonstrate that skill while I go to industry.
Yes, since we are running out of time, I'll just go to the next question. So this is also with respect to what you can start with, sir. And this is with respect to what is one skill. I want like one single keyword, rather than we don't go for elaborating it. One single skill that you expect that our professionals should be having or competent when they are going to pass out from the
And it is
one
not-
skill, if you can.
Yeah, so it's not something which is it is a universal truth. How adaptable you are. So adaptability is going to make difference.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah, one skill.
One skill, any one skill which comes to the main thing,
I would say recommend now digital savvy.
digital.
I'd say it is a combination of technical and the academic skill. That is the domain skill is very important for me.
I would say you should become a team player. See, because all the knowledge, everything is available, but unless you don't know how to work with the team, because individually you're not going to deliver any project. You have to be. It's like technology knowledge, business management, and people management. If you don't know how to extract the work out of being a team player, then you are not going to succeed in your entire professional life. At the age of 22, you are completing your graduation, and you will be working. Civil engineers will work even till they die. That is what the notion is, and that is possible only if you know how to become a team player, right? And technology will evolve. We don't know what we have AI today may not be relevant even after a decade time. So, but if you know how to become a team player, then you will be there in limelight forever.
Okay, I'll go with Arvinda Ole for the third rapid fire question. That is one mistake that the students normally make during their placements or in your interview process.
See, it's a wrong notion. You think that you should know everything, you should satisfy interviewer by answering all the questions. Not at all necessary. Interviewer will definitely look at your attitude and how fluid you are. Can we teach skill set to you? Are you fluid enough to adopt the culture or the deliverables what company is taking it? If you are able to strongly demonstrate your interest, that will help you to get through with your interview almost up to 80%. Rest all, it's like how you are solving your problems there.
Mani sir.
See, during the interview, interviewer will look at multiple things, your behavioral aspects as to how do you behave when a difficult question is posed to you, how you are answering that particular question, and then your knowledge level. So all of these things will matter when you are sitting in front of an interview, how polite you are while you are doing. And then, there are some observers who are outside also. So don't think only what you are doing inside the room is important. Outside the room is also equally important when you are, doing this particular process. Overall, you have to be a team player like what he has already mentioned. But then, when you answer, what type of way in which are you answering in a positive manner or a negative manner will also determine whether you will be taken into the organization or not. Because every time if you are trying to show your negative side, you will be, disqualified in the interview, even though you are technically very sound. Because a coin has two sides, you have to mention based on that.
Yeah, one of the common mistake we find when doing the hiring process is the candidate sometimes focus too narrow a specialization. Anything outside the boundary he feels it's not his domain or something, So that means he's not flexible enough to adapt any situation. He will only focus on one particular point and he will say, other one it's not in my cup of tea or something. So let us not focus only on that. You try to be as a little more wider and maybe you can like a T-shaped personality, but it should be at least there should be a what I could say a wide widthness is important.
Yeah, and this is again debatable. One thing what generally we see when we are in engineering final year or when you are starting our career, we look for who is getting the maximum package. Okay. So I tell you again, and I'll give you an example so that you relate. So recently we employed one guy, he came from NIT. And this gentleman was offered by one MNC some 28 lakh package. I'm just giving you a fresher. After 1 year or 2 years, because he couldn't survive there. And then now he's unemployable. Because, you know what I'm saying? Whereas civil engineers who joined us or those who were core industry, and then you know, that ramp up may not be very fast, but slowly the kind of salary, the kind of skill what you develop, which will help you to go till next 40 years. So what is most important? So one of the things which is, don't look for shortcuts. Which is generally we see, don't look for shortcuts. You have to decide where you want to choose your career and then make sure that you choose the right company to start your career and stick there for some time. That's what I'm saying.
Last question, rapid fire question. That is on because we were talking majorly on expertise in software or tech savvy and all we told about. So I just want a single word answer from you with respect to what is the kind of professional certification as a particular candidate should be having right now, looking at the current market scenario. I would like to, any one single thing which comes to your mind which is very important.
I'll have to give two answers. One is definitely BEAM is something which every civil engineer you should have awareness about that. So BEAM is something which you have, and then depending on which career path you are choosing. So if you have, I'm come from project management, so program management, project management. One thing which is really in demand is nowadays planning skill. I'm not going on scheduling skill. So there is a difference between planning. So you need to learn Primavera and then strong fundamentals in planning.
Anyway, these two are the
Yeah.
things that he has all answered. So to add on to this, I would say application of BIM in construction management. So somebody can get a certification. Nowadays available certifications are available. So BIM in construction management will help us so that it will closes the loop.
So my answer is a combination of what they both said. I come from the project control and project management background. So for that, I feel Primavera is one tool which is going to be very critical in the industry in the coming next 2 decades. And then of course, knowledge of digital twin. Okay, so that is where you don't have to repeat everything. What you are doing would be visible to you, and what mistakes are going to be done would be corrected in due course on the digitally, so that you don't have to practically repeat these mistakes. I feel so digital twin according to me is very important and Primavera.
I have already mentioned in additive manufacturing we are primarily looking at Grasshopper and Rhino certification, but you don't have to limit there. Say like these software tools, it's a very simple and easy to learn basically. I have mentioned one thing well in the beginning itself. Try looking at starting your own incubation center, your own incorporated company, rather than focusing on the package part, employment part. It is needed. I'm not telling that don't focus there, but just to give one example, I'll just find up my thing with that. My own founder members, they are incubated this company out of IIT Madras, and initially they did not focus on package part. Today companies evaluated at INR 350 crore. There's a company called Aether. It is evaluated at INR 1000 CR, and founder members, those are holding 50% share. They are already, they have set up a unicorn. So your focus should be there. Change the perspective. Don't see that how I will get employed or what type of job I should pursue, rather than pursue the solutions. What type of business opportunities are available? Sky is the limit there.
Thank you so much for that quick round of discussion that we had with, and I feel that the students have got the benefit out of this. So now the discussion will be open to the audience here. So I would like to request Mr. Umesh to give with respect to any question from your side.
Since this discussion is on expectation of industries. Just I wanted to give two dimension which is not covered here. One is from the perspective of customer expectation. So that is the key. Presently, actually, whatever the construction activity is happening in a large scale, where we are constructing about 5,000 homes, 10,000 homes, and all those things. So all the things related to the customer expectation. So second part is another dimension is taken up as a transition activity, which is called as a handing taking over. It is the word, the lay language is handing taking over, but it is the domain created as a transition activity. So these two are interrelated, where the third party is entering into the your own the qualitative work what you have done. There is a third party certification is coming into play. So when I am delivering one home to the individual owner, even though we have, the number one developer also, he will not believe. He will bring the third party, he will check the qualitative assessment, and he will give a report, and then same civil engineer who did the work, hard work for 4 years to deliver that home, he need to address all the things. So the key takeaway is actually do it in a first time right. That is the first key takeaway. Why I am saying, I will give a very small example where the tiles are laid and there is a grouting, okay, epoxy grouting. So out of 2 by 2 tile, 2-inch epoxy grouting is missing. So that type of small thing also coming into play, and one small edge is chipped out. I am giving you very small examples. One small tile edge is chipped out. He has paid about crores of rupees. He told you replace that. You just imagine a civil engineer challenged to replace that one tile. So I'm just giving you the expectation from the customer end user. I'm using the one that. And another dimension is the engineers, not only academic and technical knowledge, everything. So they need to have a civic authority guidelines. That is another dimension for industrial expectations. Civil engineer, the civil engineer should have almost all the civic authority approval from fire department, from the MOF, that is called as Ministry of Environmental and Forest. All those the civic authority guidelines, even occupation certificate is also with the riders it will come. So all those things is directly related to civil engineer where he will implement in the ground level. So these are all the two aspects I wanted to give it. So these are very basic, and we need to take it on in the expected level, so that actually the people he should be well aware before entering into the ground level. So that is what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. for that valuable input. We could add that one more dimension is there, the customer feedback of how the client is.
Next.
Yeah, next. So we'll take some few questions which the crowd has given us with respect to knowing the basic local communication practice, like converting textbook knowledge to field knowledge, explaining to laborers. It's all like they are finding it very difficult to manage. How to improve this? This is one simple question that is being asked. So I would like to get the information from Manish sir. Can you give some inputs on that? How converting the information that is in the textbook to the field knowledge, explaining it to the laborer, how it is going to be a conducting medium for the graduates?
So, again, I told you about understanding the language. What is the language the labor understands? And to what level is he able to grasp what you have said is very important, So, you have to come down, see, labor will not come down to your knowledge level, okay? You have to come down to the labor's knowledge level and explain him in a way that he understands that. So, take for example, I am doing a bar bending schedule. So that bar bending schedule, how to cut has to be neatly explained to him in a language that he properly understands. And don't overload him with information. You have to give him only some, preliminary information so that he can start working, and then you need to keep monitoring whether he is working properly or not, and feed him with requisite information from time to time. This is one particular way of starting to work with laborers. Second is that you need to get to know your people well. The people with whom you are working, the laborers with whom you are working, it will take you time to, become a project director or a project manager sort of thing like that. But once you start your job on site, you'll be given some 20 labors or 25 labors to start with. So you should get to know each one of them as to what is the way they are working, how much is the productivity level for each one of them. If I give this particular job to this person, how fast will he be able to do it? So knowing that will give you an understanding ki if I have to execute this particular job and I have to tell my boss, ki sir, if my boss is telling me to execute that job in 3 days, I should be able to tell sir, I will take 4 days because I have only this many labors. If you want me to do it in 3 days, then you will have to give me extra XYZ labor. So that understanding has to, you can be gained only when you have that camaraderie with your labor to that level.
Another interesting question what we have is like, we were talking about the behavioral competency and all. So the question is like this: the new grads are more casual and senior managers accept it or oversee it. And since the modern market fits this new style of new generation, why should freshers follow the old ways? This is purely from the behavioral point of view we had a discussion. So this is a very interesting question that has come from the new generation. So I would like to have Riyaz sir respond to it.
Thank you. So definitely, I mean, this is a very good question, and it runs in everybody's mind. Particularly if you see the global industry, they don't care at what time you come, what time you go, but what is most important, what do you deliver? So if you have a client, you have to keep your client happy. You have to retain your client, okay, and you have to make sure that end of the day you are taking the ownership. What is most this is very, very important. You can have your freedom the way you want, but end of the day what matters is delivery. Client, making sure that you are meeting the client expectation, and not only meeting the client, but you are also retaining the client. So as long as you are meeting this criteria, I think nobody is it doesn't matter how do you what do you wear, how do you talk, and effectively this is what actually you have to keep in mind.
Another question which has come in: despite India's growing infrastructure sector, why do many civil engineering graduates prefer working abroad? For example, we see in our department also many students prefer going for masters abroad. So why does, in spite of this much of infrastructure growth and potential in Indian market, why do they prefer working abroad, and how can this talent be retained in India?
Yeah, one of the main attraction of working abroad is, I think, they feel that we are working more professionally, and the work culture is different, and we can do much more seamless thing. In India, the infrastructure, the ecosystem is still complicated. There are many other challenges apart from the technical and other issues which they have to face on a day-to-day basis, which I think fortunately or unfortunately may not be there in the global situation. So they can focus more on the professional side. So definitely there is an advantage. But as I was saying earlier, India is also changing, and we are also now dealing with many global clients as well here. So as the way forward, I think it should not be that difficult, and the attraction towards going abroad also will come down, because since situations outside are not so green like the earlier. So I think India is definitely getting better, and there is plenty of opportunity in infrastructure.
Last question we have to Arvinda. How can this additive manufacturing be brought into the curriculum at the institutional level rather than awareness of the technology alone?
Sir, it is very simple. See, additive manufacturing, it is nothing but just a difference in the implementation strategy. How are we automating implementation from conventional method to a mechanized method? So most of the top tier 1 institutions, they just have to set up a lab, and they should know what type of design mixture is utilized. And every day this technology is evolving. We are talking about additive manufacturing today, but this technology started evolving since 2015, if I am correct, probably early 2010. Right now across the globe, there are hardly 4 or 5 companies those who are into additive manufacturing, but there is a massive demand, massive requirement, and every day market share in terms of implementing buildings or projects using RCC 3D printing, it is significantly increasing. So it's nothing but your regular RCC only. All that you have to do is have a lab setup, have a machine, and focus on design elements. It's very simple to adopt.
So we are running out of time now. So thank you so much for the panelists. We had a very wonderful discussion. I hope it is very fruitful for all of you, and the students have taken the inputs out of this. Thank you once again.
Hello.
Yeah, we have a question from the crowd. Yeah.
Hello sir, my name is Farman. I am final year of MTech student, and my question is related to Mr. Arvind sir. That it's related to 3D printing. Like especially for 3D printing, what type of especially for 3D printing, what type of software required for entering in the 3D printing technology,
See-
and what type of career opportunities is there?
See, right now we use predominantly Grasshopper and Rhino software tool in order to do our design, and this entire design gets converted into a print file. We call something as a print file, which will be fed into the machine. Then machine takes care of rest of the activity. Since you are finally a student, what I propose, do visit our company, see, because our doors are open for any colleges, any institutions. We usually keep our doors open if you are willing to understand about the technology, business opportunities. Do visit us. All that you have to do is that, understand how the machine works. Probably you can yourself can set up a company. We want this ecosystem to grow very rigorously in India. There's a massive demand. So probably you can procure a machine from all the OEM providers, and from there you can directly bid tenders. Right now in India, defense system and railway system, every day they are floating tenders for RCC 3D printing. Maybe small elements. Straight away you can actually take these projects and execute. That will give you better than your regular, pay packages or salary equation, whatever we are doing.
Thank you so much, sir.
We have come to the end of the session 4, Industry Expectation and Market Trends. We will be now taking a break for lunch. I request the conclave coordinators to escort the delegates to KEF rooftop for a networking session and lunch. The remaining participants are requested to be seated here only. Okay. Food coupons will be provided, and after that you can go to lunch to strength of material lab. We'll assemble back at the same venue for session 5 at 2 p.m. to discuss on academia